Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the final show. Welcome to the final show of the thing, and we have got a new record.
Not the final show. The final show of the year.
Well, if you would have let me finish.
Well,
the final show of the 2025 season, and if you notice, Dave, we have got a record tonight. 28 people, but it went from 28. But it went from 28 to 4.
But no, so I still got 28.
So I don't know if the fire marshal was getting upset at the bar, or somebody farted in the bar and everybody left. I mean, I don't know. One thing that you guys won't notice that we see on our side is that we have now 2 different formats that we now broadcast in. We broadcast in the wide format, or 16:9, and we also format specifically for your phone. So you can be traveling, you can be driving, you can be doing all those fun things and still see your 2 favorite talk show hosts, Dave and Dave. So welcome, everybody, and happy holidays and all that kind of good stuff.
Here's the problem.
They're already leaving.
No, you get too many people in the bar and it starts getting rowdy. Look at it. The guy with the headphones or the guy with no headphones, who do you think is better?
They're both. We're both wonderful. And those are my ears. That's not a better. I am Princess Leia. Can't you tell?
You're all the prettiest.
I'm all the prettiest. Exactly. So
You're all the pretty. You're all the pretty.
So what's going on, Dave?
You know, so I'm going to start off with a question here, because I was going to Google the answer. I thought about, or the explanation, and I was going to Google it when I got home. Forgot. I remembered and looked up, and we had like 10 seconds before we went live. And I was like, not enough time. So when you have 2 magnets, right, and you put the North poles together, they repel each other, right? They push away.
Right.
When you have a magnet like a compass, the North Pole of that magnet points where?
North.
Towards the North Pole of the Earth.
Right.
Which we all think is magnetic north.
The magnetic north.
Okay, right. That's different than the geographical north. But
right, because that's moved. The North Pole is moved.
Right. But if that's the magnetic North Pole, wouldn't the North Pole of your compass point away from it?
No,
not
because it's drawing the magnet to it. And you're doing.
That's what I'm saying, though. But if that's the magnetic north, it should repel the like pole. It should repel the north.
No, because if you put 2 poles, if you put 2 magnetic poles that are the same together, they'll stick. If you reverse the poles, if you reverse the magnet,
then it sticks.
No, then it repels.
No, you're backwards, dude. If you took 2 North Pole magnets and stick them together, they'll push away. You got to do the opposites. So that's what I'm saying. Is that
you should have Googled it.
I should have Googled. Well, so I mean, it was presented by an astrophysicist as a thought. Like, how come the North Pole of your compass points where we think the North Pole of the Earth is when it should be repelled?
But here's the problem with your theory. You said that an astrophysicist presented that, but when you're using Raj Koothrappali as that astrophysicist, you gotta look back.
Oh, here you go. Well, then see, that's what I'm wondering, Rich. Is it labeled backwards just so that it doesn't confuse people by the south part of your compass pointing to the North Pole, and they'll be like, I don't understand. I kind of think that's what it is.
Here's another thing that'll make you go crazy. Like, you go walk outside and you say, I am going to point up. You realize you're actually pointing out.
Out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got that. I got on this kick. Bernard, what's his name? Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
The
killer of Pluto.
Right. He shoots out all these facts, and I found YouTube videos that are like an hour long of just like put together little 30-second clips of just all this knowledge stuff.
So
that's funny. All right.
All right. So, what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking
Did you turn on your fan, by the way? Because it looks like your room's on fire.
Well, I was going to explain that too, but
okay.
Yeah. Compass Box Glasgow Blend is the single malt blend today. And yourself, are you on the
I am
Zero?
No. I'm drinking RC Zero,
which we both hit pay dirt with last week and found the cans.
Yeah, because that's not easy to do anymore.
No.
So when we go into Fry's or Safeway, people look at me funny because I buy out their whole stock.
Yeah, well, so did I, but the whole stock was 3 sleeves of
Right.
It's just got one little narrow. Right, you got Coke and you got Pepsi, and then RC has this.
Right, but RC tastes so much better.
What brand is RC though? Who?
Royal Crown Cola. It's their own.
It's their own company. And is that all they make?
No, I think they're owned actually by 7-Up.
Okay,
I think so.
That's what
I think they're owned by 7-Up.
Yeah.
But Royal Crown Cola predates all of those guys. It predates Pepsi, predates Coca-Cola.
You suppose they had caffeine or cocaine in RC back in the day?
No. I think Coca-Cola was the first one to use, cocaine. South of the border bottling. And yes, Rich, I do remember the faceted RC bottles. I remember also the Pepsi glass bottles that were the twirly, like the barber pole type. And then the little tiny Coke bottles, which I guess you can still get, but they're not.
Here they come out around the holidays, like that's a tradition or something.
But now they're coming out with weird. They're coming out with weird flavors. In fact, I bought you some last year. The Frost Vanilla 7-Up.
Yeah,
remember that? Did she like that? By the way, this was for your daughter.
I thought it was okay. It's like Pringles and Oreos, where you can't do better than the original. It's interesting to see what they come up with and a little variety from time to time, but you got to go back to the
right. So what are you smoking tonight?
I'm smoking a Comfortably Numb.
I still have yet to ever get one of those. So, yeah, one of these days. Well, they actually stopped making them, I think, but whatever. I am smoking a Cohiba Rubicon. Yeah, delicious. It's their budget version of their Cohibas, which budget is $9, but it's still budget.
Yeah. So when I went through the story of building the cigar lounge here, I went through several variations of how do I keep the smoke smell down and get the smoke out and all this stuff, and found basically what I need to do is just have the exhaust fan on. Don't seal up the door so that it can, you get air from the house in to vent out. And that worked the best. Well, it's getting chilly here. I won't say cold because it's not below 0 and all that, but I also tape up the air vent so there's no heat coming into this room.
Would I consider it cold?
Yeah, of course you would. Yeah. and so it got to the point where with the vent fan going, sucking any residual heat out of here, it got really chilly and my feet would get numb and stuff. So we had a circular fan about this big that also heats. So I brought that in here. That solves the problem. In fact, I'm a little warm with my sweatshirt on here, but I think it messes up the airflow, so I don't have that linear flow through the room to vent it. That's why it's a little smoky tonight.
But the main concern is any of that cigar residual going into the rest of the house?
No,
because I know that is a dream killer. Yeah, that would be a dream killer. So
right.
Yeah. So are you prepared for the holidays?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think most of our shopping's done. Oh, so we're going up to Portland for Christmas.
Right.
And when we do that, in order to not have to schlep all the gifts through the airport and all that stuff, and save on some sales tax, we send a lot of gifts. We just order them and have them shipped to Portland. And my poor parents then are regularly wrapping all of these gifts to put. So it's been a piece of cake for, that's a
well, but then again, you know what you should do then? Huh? What you should do is if they're going to be wrapping all of the gifts that you're shipping up there, you need to reciprocate by either taking them out to dinner a couple of days before Christmas or offering to cook. And if your mom won't let you cook, then to completely clean the kitchen after she's done.
I thought you were going to say we should offer to unwrap all the gifts.
No.
If they have to wrap them all, then we should offer to unwrap them.
PB, if you we have two different broadcasts. We have a widescreen broadcast, and then we also have the vertical for those people that are only on their phones. That's why. So
yeah, so we can see.
And right now it shows that you are on your phone, and my 87 SS 383. That's why.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there you go. There, see, I'm here for your dad. I'm here for your parents. I'm here for them. I'm here for them.
So. What about? I haven't seen the pictures of the lights at the Barber Dave house
because it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, this year seems late.
This year, yeah, I'm late. Usually, I'm the weekend prior to the weekend prior, or right after Thanksgiving is the weekend that I usually do it. But we do a thing on the Shaving Cadre called the Rudolph Gifts. And my Rudolph gift came early, but I had no tree to put it under. Plus, the tree that we have is too big for the space, and it's a pain, and it weighs like 40,000 pounds. So we relegated ourselves to getting a pencil tree. And so we were out looking at pencil trees, and we find one, got that put up, and then I finally got the gifts underneath. And then so in the future, I never thought I would be one of those bougie people that says, oh, we have a Christmas tree in the living room. We also have a Christmas tree in the salon. We also have a Christmas tree in the den. But the more and more I think about it, I said, hey, that's a great idea, because then you have one in the living room, because we spend 90% of our time in the den.
Okay. That's where the fireplace is?
That's where the fireplace is. Yeah. So we always shoved our Christmas tree into a corner after moving furniture. And I said, well, wait a minute. We should have, because when I was growing up, the Christmas tree was always in the living room, in the window, facing the street. That's just the way it was. But what's the point of that if you're in the den? So now that we have the pencil tree, next year we will have the big tree in the window, and then we'll have the other one here. So we'll be bougie.
Oh my God, point. Dave, that's like having a sitting room where you're not allowed to touch anything. You're going to have the tree that you guys don't look at. It's for display for the 3 people that drive by out in the boonies. And then you're getting like the utility tree where the presents go.
Exactly. Well, the big tree is flocked and it's white lights only. And I got kind of sick of that. So the pencil tree has multicolor LED lights. So
I see.
But it's kind of cool, actually. I mean, people call it a pencil Christmas tree. Pretty much it looks like the top end of an Italian cypress. But that's okay.
I see.
That's okay.
Built for a corner, huh?
Yes, exactly. And the animals aren't messing with it.
Yeah.
And actually, the reason why we have not put because I usually put Christmas lights on the house, and then I've got about 400 feet of fence line that runs along our property, and I usually light all that up. But we're waiting because we still don't know if we want to go ahead and spend the money, because Amazon can have it here by Thursday, is those Govee lights, those new ones where they're permanent.
Yes.
Where you actually screw them in under the eaves and you never have to do that again.
Yes.
We're doing that. So everybody who's on their phone, I think what's happening is it defaults to vertical on the phone, because we're seeing little, because if you're watching it from your phone, apparently it automatically goes to the vertical. So this is good feedback.
Maybe they're saying we don't like that. So that'll be the question: is even if you turn your phone landscape, is it not showing up that way? Does it then make a little tiny little?
Well, I think Pantea. I think it's any type of mobile device, type of mobile device. But let us know, anybody, because here's who I have right now. I see P-Beat is on that type of vertical screen. Pantea. I'm not sure if there's anybody.
They're complaining because they're not getting enough of us. We're not filling.
That's what it seems like. It seems like, and then Jan's wig collection is also on that. So try turning your phone and letting us know if it broadens up. Because this is a test.
Yeah. So I was actually going to bring up those lights, and I'm still on a. So she's showing me her computer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. So if they turn it sideways, and then it's just a little strip in the middle. So maybe this is a failed experiment for us.
Well, I wonder if we can. I don't know if we can. Let me keep entertaining the folks. I will see if we can. Mid. Yeah, so I don't think we can, but
I was gonna equate Christmas lights to watches. Ready?
Okay.
Because same as you, I was like, listen, when we move back to the house that we own, I'm done with this pulling the boxes of lights out, untangling them up and down the ladder, up and down, and then reverse process. I'm going to get the ones that, same with you, something that mounts permanently underneath, still looks nice. But here's my conundrum is that I like the lights that look very well straight placed, right? Mm-hmm. But it's a fine line there, because I don't like the ones that look industrial, right? If you got the big bulbs that are laser straight that look like it's on a commercial building, then that's too commercial to me. Mine, they're done by hand, but they're straight on little clips. So they're a little bit, they're not laser straight. Right. They're pretty straight, but they still look handmade, right? Like a nice watch. It's handmade, put together. It's not just all machine made.
Well, the benefit of the Govee lights is this. From what I've done my research, I've looked at a bunch of different brands too, and the Govee seems to be the best, but they're also the most expensive. But what I like about them is they're meant to go not on the front. They're meant to go underneath an eave. Yeah. So when you turn them on, there is a circular kind of flooding of the lights. What I like about it is you can, like during the year, if it's 4th of July, red and blue. If it's Halloween, orange and purple.
Yeah, would you be that guy that St. Patrick's Day comes on and your house is lit up in green lights?
After spending $400 on lights on the roof, yeah, I would. I need to get a good return of investment,
because
but you can make them dance, you can make them sparkle, and for me, getting up there older in age, I have been told by the boss that you don't go up on ladders anymore, because what happens to both of us, because we have a very steep pitched roof. So I'll get them down. I'll get the lights up from the ground because I have that extension pole that I can put them on. But to get them straight, she gets up on the roof and leans over the eaves.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we're probably going to do the other lights. Now on the fence line though, I'll still do what you're talking about. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on, Rich. That explains it, because when I put the show up, it had 2 streams. It had one for the vertical stream, one for the other one. So those of you that clicked on the vertical stream, you can back out, come back in on the other stream, and that should solve your problem.
But wait, hit the like button before you back out and rejoin. Hit the like button again.
Yes, and that's particularly. Well, I like that you're on Ozempic view,
right? So I didn't want to. I thought the same thing, is like, if they're up there and you put all this money and effort into doing that, of course you want to light up red and white for Valentine's, or they probably got pink or whatever. But then anybody driving by is gonna be like, "Oh, look, that guy got those lights." Like, it doesn't look cool. They're just using them because they. Well, so I'm still not decided.
You have 14 million colors.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I'd really like to do, although I don't want to spend the money and I don't want to pay somebody to do it, is I want to have one of those houses that you can see from orbit that's playing Def Leppard or playing AC/DC, because we've got a guy up the street that does that. He spends, in fact, when you drive by, there's a big sign that says, turn to 104.1 to listen to the simulcast. The problem is that's not like where we're at, that's in a regular neighborhood. So the poor bastards that live across the street or they can't get out of their house because everybody stops to watch the light show.
Yeah. So P-Beat, I'm curious, were you not able to see the chat of other folks that were not watching that stream? Because I bet that's also the case. You probably only see the live comments from your own stream. We can see everything, but I bet that's a good point.
Right. Yeah. Because we simulcast not only on StreamYard, but we also simulcast on YouTube, and I don't think YouTube has the vertical. I don't know, they might, because
we also simulcast in Italy if anybody's interested. They've contracted with us,
and amazingly in the Congo.
Right, it's like David Hassel. We're the David Hasselhoffs of the Congo.
Is this? Which feed did you go into though? Whatever. Is this what you normally see?
Yeah, she's on the normal stream. So
yeah, you're on the normal stream.
And then if I hit that,
there you go. See, P-Beat switched over. So yeah, I think
now you're in the. See, there's 2 streams. Yeah, you're 2 streams. So you're in the normal stream.
Oh my gosh! And look, wait, I don't know. Yeah, all right. So it was. We gave it a shot.
We probably will not use this again.
That's right. Next time we'll be upside down.
but we had more people. We had 22 people
Well,
when we had the
yeah, I
vertical.
don't know what was going on. It was a bunch of people we'd never seen, and they came in. Who knows?
Yeah.
That might have been the Congo. Like you
There you go. PB's got it. I was on the soda stream.
So anyway, yeah, let's so hundreds of dollars, you say, huh? I hadn't even priced them out yet.
Well, we on Amazon, we priced them through Govee, and they were for 100 feet, and the lights placed every, I don't know, I think foot and a half. It was $299. But
Now,
on Amazon was $199 for the same 100 feet.
Now, do you know? Can you modify the length of that so they end like right at the end of your house? No, it's just
no. You've got two choices: 100 feet. No, three choices: 100 feet, 150 feet, 200 feet, or 500 feet. Now, what's amazing is the 100-foot one on Amazon is $199.
Yeah.
The 150 foot, so it's only $50, 50 feet more, is $299. Okay, so my question is, what in the hell is wrong with the first 100 feet? Because this goes back to an old joke that Bill Cosby used to do, where he went into a diner and it was one egg, $1.99, two eggs, $2.25, and his question was, what the hell's wrong with the second egg? And it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So, and see, ours is exactly $100.
Mm-hmm. How much is the bottle cost, the shipping, all that stuff? You know, you're only paying for $2 a wine out of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, here, get to 500 feet. You just go back and forth, and then you'll light up like a stadium.
Yeah, luckily 100 feet would just about do it, because I'm accounting for coming around the front of the side of the house, then up and over the eave, because we've got a pitched eave and then down. But we have the because a lot of people can't do it because they don't have the recessed eave. And see, and that's what you do, is you hide it so you don't see any light on the outside. So we're probably going to try it, but I don't know if we'll do it for this Christmas or wait.
But then, so we've got the stringer that comes down, right? And so to run it under the eave, you've got to go under the stringer where if you see the wire, that's fine. But if like a light hits there, that would be I'll have to do some research. Anyway. Yeah.
Well, this has become the tech show today from today. But I want to thank everybody for telling us about the different feeds, because now P-Beat's on the regular feed. At least we can see that. Now P-Beat, yeah, he's back on the regular feed. Pantea's back on the regular feed.
Now, see, my wife has always been advocating to get icicle lights. She likes the little the lights, that go down the bicycle.
Well, but the old icicle lights, when they were incandescent, those were terrible, because you could only put two strings together and it'd blow out all your fuses. But now that they're LED, you can string as many as you want. And some of the icicle lights that have the trailing LEDs, I think those look cool, especially if they're hung in a tree.
Maybe I was going to say, but for the house, they are not cheap. So if you were going to do the whole front, add in icicle lights, that's some bucks too. Yeah, well, I think we might.
A friend of mine, he's got a pretty big house that's multiple eaves and all this, and then he's got a side street where his house is along, so he wants to do that. He got a quote for somebody to do it professionally, so they put up the ladder, they screw the bolts into the eaves, $6,000. I'm like, no, because she will allow me to get on the ladder one last time if I do these.
That's it. Well, if you wait too long, it's going to be 110 degrees outside again, and you're going to be out there in the heat.
Well, see, that's the beauty of Amazon, is I can order it as soon as we get done with the show, and they'll be here Thursday. So. But
we always get our Christmas tree from Home Depot, and this year they had a sign up that Home Depot will come. They've got that service. They'll come and put up lights on your house, and then afterwards they come and take them all down, and just like that.
How much? Yeah, but how much is that? But that in itself is a statement of society. Because think about it.
Well,
exactly. See, P-Beat's thinking right. Think of the parts I could buy for my Jeep for $6,000.
Again, folks either that don't have the time, or
we're getting old.
Don't want to get up on a ladder,
or we're getting old.
Still want to be festive and all that stuff.
And we're getting old.
Yeah. So, Dave, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Would you rather have
nice
a
segue.
subscription
Nice
box
segue.
or an experience gift for Christmas?
Say that again.
Would you rather get some kind of a subscription box, monthly, whatever,
Oh, like I did
or
for you that one year. Okay.
an experience for
An
Christmas?
experience. An experience.
Experience gift. Why? Why you say that?
Well, because you're only, you're only on this rock for 80, 90 years if you're lucky. And if somebody wants to give you an experience where you go jump out of an airplane or go wingsuiting or whatever, or you go someplace, that is something that you can take with you. I mean, a subscription is great, but when the subscription's over, or if you don't want to subscribe anymore, because the biggest problem with subscriptions is, let's say, you do it for 2 years and now you have stacks and stacks of books that you got to put somewhere. Where an experience, you've got the memory.
Depends what the subscription is. Yeah.
True, but you've got the memory.
Cheese of the month, I'd be all over cheese of the month.
Right.
Or cookies.
Well, you had the cigars of the month, and you enjoyed that.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're both good, but I think to me the experience is more something that you can lock away in your brain and you'll always have.
I get it.
How about you? Same question.
I'd probably go with experience too, because they would probably do something I wouldn't do otherwise. If you're going to get somebody an experience, it's not something they've already done.
Like the hot sauces. Like Dude, if I was to get you the experience of going on the show, The Hot Ones, that would be something you'd never forget.
I would never do myself. You know what I'm frustrated with, though, because this year, not just the adults, but a lot of the kids are like, I don't have space for more stuff, or I'm going off to college, I don't want stuff. And so we really looked at experiences. But the tough part is that you have to, for most of these places, book an exact day, exact experience. And unless you know or tell them ahead of time, you're kind of rolling the dice as to whether or not they would be able to do that. So,
and also when you're talking about an experience, most of us, if we want an experience, it's usually a bucket list item. And how many people, no matter how good of friends they are going to say, like, one of my bucket list items is going river rafting down the Grand Canyon. That is, a couple thousand a pop, plus it's a 2.5 year waiting reservation list. So I get what you're saying there, but oysters of the month, you may get an American steak. But by the way, thank you for mentioning Cheese of the Month Club. So now I know what I'll be looking for after we get offline.
I was going to say, next year, you get her Cheese of the Month and she gets you river rafting down the Grand Canyon. Done. You're already set for next year.
Yeah, I'll let you know how that works out.
But I'll also say the frustrating part is these whatever the month things are not inexpensive. And so you end up looking at them and then you end up like, maybe just 3 months would be okay.
Right. But this is a good one. Yeah. An escape room. I've never done one. I've heard about them. I've heard that they're kind of fun.
Yeah.
Or another experience would be, and I know you're going to probably go again, is not going to the Super Bowl proper, but going to the Super Bowl experience. And for nobody who's ever, we went to one in Phoenix where they've got all kinds of stuff going on and you never even see the inside of the stadium.
Yeah. One of the coolest things was they had the women that make the leather footballs there.
Oh, that's cool.
Footballs on their sewing machines and stuff. That was neat to see.
That would have been neat.
Yeah. So what I did was I thought, let's do this would you rather thing. And so I tried to Google all sorts of stuff. And there's plenty of lists for these holiday things, but they're all kind of benign like this. And they're all going to be like this. Because I tried to look up like adult questions for it. Trying to get a little more spicy, a little more irreverent. They're not out there.
Yeah, but we don't want to get canceled either.
Yeah. All right. Ready for another one?
Sure.
Okay, well, and this is, again, so these are not exciting, but would you rather decorate your home with white lights or multicolored Christmas lights? Back to what we were talking about before. When you buy, so you're buying multicolor if we do, but if they didn't have that, if you had to choose white or multicolor.
Multicolor. To me, it seems more festive.
Interesting. I
More,
like
yeah.
white because to me it's crisp, and those
It's
blue
classy.
lights, if you do LED, the blue ones seem like beacons you can see 10 miles away.
Yeah. In fact, we've talked about it. They almost look purple. They're blue, but they almost look purple.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if we can find something
Spicy.
more more interesting.
But I like the Oysters of the Month Club. You know why? Because the Oyster of the Month Club it'd be a crapshoot.
Literally.
Yes.
Well, these are these are I don't care what your answer is to half of these. Let's see.
Okay.
Would you rather attend a homey Christmas party or a large fancy event? Now a party. So this isn't Christmas morning. You're going to a party.
Okay. So like New Year, like Christmas Eve type of thing, a party.
Sure. Do you want to be invited over to a small gathering in somebody's house or a big blowout catered DJ party?
I will answer in two parts. If it's, I would go to a homie one. I think that's more traditional. But if it's at Yakatomi Plaza, I'll go to the big one.
Oh, nice call.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd do that.
I'm thinking. I mean, because you're gonna have your homie Christmas anyway. I like the big blowout parties just because they probably have really fancy foods. Nobody's having to cook in the kitchen. Open bar, right? And if you're at a homie gathering that isn't just your family, I'm a little, anti. Okay. I'm not into the group chitty chatty and.
Well, see, when we do that, we always end up playing dominoes. and if you've ever one of these days, excuse me, I'll have to tape one of our domino sessions. And if you think what you were talking about as adult, wow, the language that it's where our stress relief is. But I agree with you on the food because you're not going to get these brie and cranberry little pastiche hors d'oeuvres at a home thing. You're going to get mac and cheese and maybe a French fry or a chicken nugget. But the other problem with the big blow-up parties is there's always one guy that's going to come up and say, "Babe, how you doing?" Just like in Die Hard. He goes, Hans, babe, I know this guy. I know what to do.
The swarmy guy.
And then you get shot. So
I hate that getting shot at the Christmas party. Yeah.
Well, the best large Christmas party that was busted, best one in movie history was Trading Places when Dan Aykroyd was drunk, down and out, and he stuffed that salmon down his and then pointed it at like a gun, and then he screamed and destroyed everything. Best party crash in the world.
All right, here, this is a good one. Would you rather know what Christmas will be like in the next few years or experience past Christmas again?
Ooh, I would have to say, and that could be any past Christmas.
It's open question.
Yeah, I would go with past Christmas just because, just the memories of my family and stuff like that. Yeah, it would be past Christmas.
Yeah,
definitely.
Same thing. It changes when you get older. Yeah, and especially kind of Christmas is Christmas, right? It's better. It's like being on a cruise. Even a bad cruise is better than no cruise. So any Christmas, as long as you got some family and all that stuff.
Although Sharon and I have talked about doing a Christmas cruise.
Yeah.
Not because there's two. There's one where you go over to Europe and go to the Christmas markets, which I would really like to do that.
Yes, bucket list.
But there's also Christmas cruises where you're out in the middle of the ocean during Christmas. I've heard pros and cons from both.
Yeah.
So.
But the excitement when you're younger seems to be ramped up.
Oh yeah.
Right. Especially, and also when the kids are younger, you can get away with $20 toys all over the place and fill the room up. Right. Now it's like electronics, this and that, and designer this. And
I think for me, growing up in the Southwest, I was always envious of family members that we had that had white Christmases.
Yes.
But now that I get older, I realize that white Christmas came with a after talking to Chad, comes with a a caveat: snow blowing, slipping, falling on the ice.
Yeah, if you
So
got to leave, we did. I know it's pre-COVID, but there was one Christmas we had up in Oregon, family all together, and it had snowed, and so you have the whole, the street lights with the snow on the ground and all that stuff.
Mhm.
That was
I mean, it
cool.
is. There's something about. I mean, like right now, this week, towards the end of the week, we may be in the 90s, and it's hard to
Yeah,
get in the Christmas spirit. It really is when you're wearing a rain
yeah,
spooner and shorts and flip flops.
yeah.
So I like it. I like it cooler. This last week it was in the 30s. It was great. So
All right, let's get into some of these weird ones.
okay,
Would you rather not listen to music or only listen to Christmas carols for a year?
okay. Say that again. I'm sorry.
No, listen to no music for a year or only Christmas carols for a year?
Oh, I could do Christmas carols for a year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't mind it. I got in the car. We got jazz Christmas playing, and I
Mm-hmm.
haven't changed the channel in a week.
Right. Well, I started playing this last week. I started playing the all of the all the old fashioned Christmas music, and I love it.
Okay,
But
so to me, this one's a no-brainer, but maybe for you guys, it's not. How about this? Would you rather take your wife to the St. Regis in Aspen for a romantic Christmas, or spend the night with her in a haunted mansion during a thunderstorm?
see, I think both of those would be a blast. Now we know what KJ would say,
Yeah,
obviously, but I think both of them would be a blast. But having intimate knowledge of the St. Regis in New York, that would be hard to beat.
yeah. Especially
That
that
would be
when
hard to beat.
talk about White Christmas,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, that
Yeah,
would be good. And
yeah.
actually, Eric said something good. I could listen to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra for a year. Yeah, it's good stuff. And we've already started to watch the Christmas movies. That's all part of it. And Christmas Eve, and Sharon gets upset. That is the culmination. Christmas Eve is always. What's oh my God, my brain poof. It's a Wonderful Life. Guaranteed, It's a Wonderful Life. I love that movie. But we started watching Red One, which is a great
Oh,
one.
you are doing okay.
Yeah, we're doing the movie, and then probably in the next couple of days it'll be the Charlie Brown Christmas. Because see, now we can get them on demand. If you remember when you were young, you know,
Mhm.
your parents would say, "Hey, we got to
Had to
watch it,"
wait.
and it would always come in at like 6:30, and you had to watch it. So
Yeah.
in the Grinch.
Would you rather have a fireplace that stays always lit or a Christmas tree that never? What? That's a dumb question. No, we're not going to do that one. Yeah,
The answer is I would rather have a fireplace.
yeah. Boy, I here. Let's go to another page. I got 3 pages of these things, and
Okay.
none of them are amazing. Yeah, and feel free if you guys have questions, throw them in the chat there.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence with David Bowie. Yes. Yeah, throw some of the Christmas movies that you guys will always watch. Not because you have to, like on TBS when, you got 24 hours of the Christmas Story or 24 hours of Elf, but ones that you have to watch every year. For me,
Yeah.
it's A Wonderful Life and A Christmas Carol. But we watch all of them. We watch Scrooged, we watch The Christmas Carol, and the one that I like the best is the darkest of them. And it's the one with oh God, what's his name? He played an alien. He also played in The Count of Monte Cristo, but he plays Scrooge. But it's much darker because it shows the reason why he became who he became, and it's dark. It's
Oh,
dark. Yeah, it's
oh.
dark. Let's just say his schoolmaster at the boys' school that he was at was rather amorous towards him.
I see. I got one, and then we'll get to P Beats because I think I know the answer for this for you.
Okay.
But I'm curious: is that
Okay.
would you rather get the gift that you really, really want, or get a gift that is a surprise?
Oof. Well, when I was a kid,
No.
you're talking about now,
This year,
currently?
if you could say this is my dream gift, and then you got it, would you
Mhm.
rather do that or have it be something else but be a surprise?
I would rather it be a surprise. Because if it was something I really, really wanted, you'd probably go out and buy it anyway. So I would say, yeah, a surprise. And the reason why I say that is when I was a kid, I was like the Pink Panther of snooping. I would find out where my parent. I mean, in fact, my dad ended up having to set traps for me because I was getting so good with a razor blade to, get the tape off. And like my wife, we've done it. I've done it up until not too long ago. She's like, "Why do you want to ruin your Christmas by knowing what's in there?" Because yeah. So a surprise, definitely a surprise.
But it's a surprise until you sneak in and see what it is. So it's still a surprise. It's just an early surprise.
I've gotten better with that. And excuse me, and Sharon has gotten much better at creative wrapping.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I would say the same thing. I mean, I threw out a dream gift this year, and it'll be a surprise because I don't expect to get it at all. But yeah, I don't want to know what I'm getting.
Well, and mentioning in that same vein, the one thing that we've noticed is that we kind of buy things throughout the year, if we see something we want and stuff like that. So I think a lot of the magic of Christmas is somewhat gone, meaning that, when you ask your spouse, what do you want for Christmas? Pair of shoes, or something like that. It's not and you try to come up with surprises.
Yeah.
But you've been together so long, you probably have everything you really want other than like I said earlier, an experience. Like what PB said, having, putting out a card, a week before Christmas and saying, "Hey, we're going to Aspen for Christmas." That would be cool. That would be cool.
Yeah. And whatever works for everybody. Cause there are those couples that are, they get each other like one gift and they tell each other, "Go get me this." And that's what happens. So they know what they're getting. And that kind of seems like, well, what? I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I told you this story on our last Christmas show. Last year. Yeah, that was subtle. But my uncle, my dad's brother, would take, and this was back in, the 70s when Sears was like the place to go. And he would take all his kids, my cousins, all three of my cousins, to Sears. He'd say, "Go pick out what you want for Christmas." They'd go pick it out. They'd take it home. They would wrap it, stick it under the tree, and then Christmas morning, I'll never forget this. My mom, dad, and I would be sitting on the couch at my uncle's house watching these kids go crazy opening up presents that they already knew what they were. That, to me, that ruined me. That was like, what? Why would you? Yeah. And I'd ask my mom why, and she'd just shake her head. She goes, "I don't know." But it was easy for my uncle because he would just go write the check. They wrapped it. They did it. Yeah. They did everything. I don't know. So let's do that thing with PB. So I'll ask you this. Would you rather re-experience your favorite Christmas from past or be promised the best Christmas ever?
Well, I mean, I don't know if this is the spirit in which he's asking, but best Christmas ever. Because the best Christmas ever, you would incorporate the things from your favorite one, right? And maybe make it so like that whole Aspen thing is maybe you have all the best stuff from your best Christmas, but it's in Aspen.
True, right? True. Or maybe he was, and we don't know how he was thinking, but maybe for me, it would be past because people, loved ones that have passed away.
Yes, for sure.
To be able to spend a Christmas with my dad, and my mom, mostly my dad, because I knew my mom as an adult, but I never knew my dad past the age of 13. So to have an adult Christmas with my father, yeah, that would be the choice. Case closed.
Yeah.
What else you got? One Christmas I would like to do is I would like to actually go out on the trail with some friends that like to 4-wheel drive and decorate a tree way, way out in the middle of nowhere on a trail to see if other people would go by and make them smile. That would be kind of cool.
That's cool. This one I know the answer to, but it could lead to some discussion. Would you rather have a Christmas tree adorned with handmade ornaments or store-bought decorations?
Well, see, I don't have any frame of reference because we always had, store-bought stuff. My mom and my dad had some old Austrian ornaments that they got when they were in Germany during the 50s, during the war, during the Korean War. But those are long since gone. So that one for me, neither one.
Neither one.
I mean, what I'm saying is I could do either
you
one.
don't care.
That's what I meant. Yeah, I could do either one. Right. Yeah. Right. Because I've got a bunch of Star Trek ornaments that I loved, but the problem is you put them in a box and I have no idea where they're at. They're somewhere.
Whoops.
So
yeah.
So how about you?
So I would say the handmade ones, just because that's what I grew. And I guess I'm thinking of it differently. They're mostly probably bought, not handmade, but we've accumulated. My parents started the year I was born giving one ornament a year. Still do.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So we've accumulated, but so it's not matchy any of that stuff. And so if they were all still handmade, I would prefer that, because that's what I'm used to. Just I remember this and
speaking of that is my ex-wife, who passed away, Vicky. She was so meticulous about Christmas. It always had to be a live tree, or not a live tree, a real tree. It had to be a noble fir. That's it. It couldn't be anything else. And she would wrap each individual branch with lights. Each branch.
Oh.
Then it would take her 3 days just for the lights. Then all the ornaments were Hallmark. So the day after Christmas, her and her mom would go to the Hallmark store and buy it. So everything on there was Hallmark. I was afraid to touch the tree. I was terrified to touch the tree. But again, those are the memories that they had. So and Major Rich brings up a good point. Artificial tree or live tree with hidden poison ivy.
So we've always done live.
Live or real?
Real.
Because there is because live means
dead. It's been decapitated.
Okay, it's been decapitated.
Use decapitated trees.
Right. Because so I can't do that. I can't do a decapitated tree. Not because I don't want to, not because I don't want to. I've been mandated. No.
No killing of trees.
No killing of trees. But there's another story to that.
What if you planted a tree every year when you went and bought your decapitated tree?
You had to go there, didn't you?
Could you do 1-to-1?
Well, we have had live trees before.
Huh?
With the intention of planting them.
Oh, you owe Mother Nature.
And there's actually, around where we're at, we have a few people that actually planted Christmas trees, and they're huge. They're 50, 60 feet now. But always something came up with us that we ended up never being able to plant those trees, and probably because I never dug the holes. And so we didn't do that. So we went to artificial. I grew up with an artificial tree, and that's probably because growing up in Arizona, it was just easier,
Yes, and a lot of this probably how you grew up, because that's what you're used to. So that's your traditions, right?
I mean, when I was married to Vicky, and we did have the regular Christmas trees in noble fir, I loved the smell, but I'm sorry, 4 days to set up just the lights? No.
So I was going to say, the year that I bring home a tree that's got poison ivy in it, might be the last year that we use a real tree.
Another thing about live trees now, or real trees, they ain't cheap anymore.
They jumped up again this year.
I mean, you're going to spend $1.25 easily for a decent sized tree.
Kind of luckily, we don't have the vaulted ceilings anymore, so we can't be doing the 9-10 foot trees. But what we paid for a shorter tree this year is what we paid for the huge tree last year. But I was going to say, in relation to the handmade or the bot or whatever, you go to the stores or wherever, or the fancy hotels, and you see their trees of the nice thick ribbon, and it's all color. My wife said some year I'm going to have a tree like that. So one year that would just be cool. Go out and you buy all silver ornaments and white ribbon and all that stuff, and just to have that almost like a Victorian look or something. I guess.
Right. Well, this year we went mostly monochromatic. We've got all the different ones, but I said, I want to do something different. So we have this tinsel. Well, it's not tinsel. It's kind of a rope that's got these pearlescent balls on it. So we did that, and it's got ribbon. It's got thin ribbon, kind of a iridescent blue ribbon. So I went out and bought silver, some small silver balls, and then we have these icicles that are plastic, but
Yeah.
they're iridescent. So we hung that, and it was easy. It was quick. We did the tree in like 2 hours. We were done. Now, granted, the tree is a pencil tree,
corner
but,
tree.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Let's do PBs, and then I got another tree question for you. Would you rather make $100 a day or gain an extra hour to each day?
Well, that's a bad question for me because we don't change our time. So
okay, but you could have 25 hours. Just stop with the Arizona stuff. An extra hour to do stuff.
Give me $100. Give me $100.
Yeah.
I don't need.
I was gonna say $100. Yeah, we could just not order food or whatever and say that. But a day, that's $700 a week. I'll take that. That'll go in the watch fund.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm curious. We talked about if you put the permanent lights on your house, you can have them for different holidays and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we go to the Home Depot or whatever, these artificial trees, unless you're up close, are starting looking pretty good.
Oh yeah. If anybody hasn't been to balsamhill.com, go there. They're amazing.
They're right down the highway from us, Balsam Hill.
But I think their cheapest tree is like $450.
Yeah. But it looks like I said, unless you're up next to it. So, but the question is, what would you think of somebody that has the artificial tree and leaves it up all year around, but changes the decorations seasonally for it? So you put daisies on it and maybe yellow ribbon and.
Well, I mean, I'm not opposed to it because part of the biggest pain in the butt when you have an artificial tree is you got to take it all apart, put it away, find a place to stick it. And quite frankly, one year, my lovely Tig Lily and I left the tree up until June. We always said, we'll take it down next weekend. Next weekend became next month. And then finally, when we got to June, we're like, just leave it. I mean, yeah.
You're halfway there.
The one thing I don't like, and I guess it was a fad for a couple of years, is the upside down Christmas tree.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Don't get it. Don't understand it. I think it's stupid. I know.
Yeah.
But the holiday thing, that I never thought about that.
Well, I think once the tree is up and it's lit and it's evening time, you're like, that's gorgeous. Why do we only get to enjoy this? So the only question would be is if it's always there, does it become less special then? That you're like, it's always there. Yeah, it was pretty. Now it's just.
Well, or you could have the philosophy of not turning on the lights, and then it's just a plant. It's a plant in the corner.
Plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tree in the corner.
Interesting. Could you imagine, though, we already got all the tubs of holiday, the lights and the ornaments and the village. You'd have to have tubs for each season then. You'd have to get out fall and spring.
Well, that brings up a whole nother thing with, because a lot of people, they'll put up a tree, put up the skirt, they're done. Then most recently, I think a lot of people have gotten into the Christmas villages. And I think the reason why is literally when you put the village up and you sit down and you get to eye level and you stare at it, you picture yourself in that village. But this year we went, no.
Plus, again, it's pretty when it's dark outside and your village is lit up and it looks cool.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that my wife is big into the Christmas village stuff, and just starting to slowly collect stuff to do a fall Halloween village.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm thinking so it can come out earlier and get put up with fall colored trees and all that stuff.
And then just add the Christmas stuff as you go along.
Yeah, or swap some of it out. But then once we get enough to do a full fall village, I'm just curious, are we sliding down that slope a little bit, and then they'll be like, oh, the springtime village with bright colored trees and
Well, and the thing is also with these villages, because you have some that are grandeur. Like for us, I needed to make sure I could find a coffee house for Sharon. I needed a barber shop. And so it keeps growing. And then you get to the point we used to put it up on our mantle right where the TV's at, because it's on a big, but at some point you almost have to get a table because you want different levels. So you have different boxes and stuff. And that gets space wise, that gets crazy.
Oh. So this one's
I think your answer's been made.
That's fine. This is an easy one for me, but for you, maybe not.
Okay, go ahead.
Not be able to watch Die Hard or It's a Wonderful Life ever again.
Oh, would you rather not be able to watch Die Hard or It's a Wonderful Life?
You got to pick one. Which one are you not going to watch?
The one that I'm not going to watch is Die Hard.
Yeah, I figured because you're a Wonderful Life guy.
We've had this argument over on the thing is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And I would argue that yes, okay, I've acquiesced into admitting it is a Christmas movie, but so is Lethal Weapon.
Right.
And I would watch Lethal Weapon before I would watch Die Hard.
Yeah.
So.
But for me, it would have to be never. I think I say this every time we talk about it. I don't know that I've ever watched It's a Wonderful Life. If I have, I don't remember it.
You need to
watch it.
You need to watch it. It's just, if you like Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah. But, and I don't, out of respect, I don't watch Die Hard every year.
Right.
I would like to, but I don't.
And really, I don't watch Die Hard because of, what's his face?
Snape?
No. That's why I watch it. I think Alan Rickman just nails it. Yeah. And I was never, other than when he played in Moonlighting, I was never a huge fan of his. Now his wife or ex-wife, Demi Moore, she's playing in the new season of Landman. And if you haven't watched Landman, oh my! To me, dude, that is the best show on TV.
I'm so we've talked about that they now release everything all at once, and I'm ticked off that they don't do that now.
Yeah, so Landman.
I gotta wait a week to watch Landman.
Well, did you see this last episode, most recent on Sunday? Yeah, when it was over, I'm like, that was only like 5 minutes long. I mean, it was so good, and Demi Moore looks good. She looks very good. Thank you, Pantea Bruce Willis. I may be suffering from the same thing he is. I don't know.
All right. Well, so we're coming up on the end. Let's remind folks that we won't be back until January.
Yes, we're going to be taking our holiday break between now and January 6th. We will be back on the 6th for a show. And then right now, tentatively, January 20th is when we're going to do our beer tasting.
Right. So we have the list of beers.
Yes.
Once one of us procures all, we're going to do 6 beers. Mm-hmm. Once we have them all in hand, David didn't mention this, but one of us should do a quick little video to throw up there about here's the beers we're tasting in case you want, because they're not crazy beer. They're like $2.50 a pop or whatever. Right. So if you want,
we'd love to have you guys taste the beers with us, and we could make it more interactive, which would be kind of fun. Now I have to ask, can I make a little plug? Would you mind?
Please.
Okay. Just a reminder to everybody that this Sunday at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time or Arizona
Which God
time.
knows when that is.
That's 2 p.m. Arizona time, Mountain Standard, not daylight, Mountain Standard Time. 1 hour later than what Dave's at right now. We are having our very first Barber Dave's Shaves and Such live show, of which Dave is going to be a guest, along with a artisan retailer who's a soap maker and 2 other shave aficionados. And we're going to have a round
table of sorts.
Yeah, it's going to be around. I'm going to be basically moderating, and that's it, throwing out some subjects. And it's going to appear on the Barber Dave's Shaves and Such channel. And what we're going to be discussing is kind of a little bit of barbering. We're also going to be discussing, for those of you that are in the shaving realm, why a lot of artisan retailers have started to shutter their business. And we're going to discuss that and just kind of, see how that's at. So it's our very first show. We'd love to have you join us. Same format, as we have here. And yes, it is 6:58 in Arizona right now. So
this Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific.
Well, if you look at it,
calculate your time.
Or if you want to get really technical, it will be at, let me do the math here real quick.
UTC.
It'll be 20.
You're guessing.
Well, 2300 is 4 p.m. So 2100 hours.
Yeah, that's
UTC.
Helpful. Thank you. Yeah. So if this caught you by surprise that we won't be back till January and you're sad, you need a little dose to kind of wean off. Sunday.
Come join us on Sunday. And actually, PB brought up something good that I didn't even think about. We had no eggnog tonight.
Yeah.
We had no eggnog whatsoever. So, but we hope that you and your families have a wonderful holiday season and a happy New Year. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Festivus. What else is there? Kwanzaa. Is there anything else?
Yeah, I don't know
that I can think of. Galactic, Pan-Galactic, Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster Day, whatever the case may be. So, but anyhow, thank you so much for all your support this year. Since this will be our last. No, it's not 1900 military. That's too early. It's 2100. P-Beat, it's going to be Sunday, this coming Sunday, the 14th of December at 2 p.m.
5 days from now.
5 days from now. Yes. So it should be a lot of fun. So Dave will be there. I'll just tell you, CB Lindsay from CBL Soaps, Rich, who you know here, and then possibly Josh Dagwoods from the forum. And and even if you're not into shaving or anything like that, join us. I mean, it'll be a lot of fun, and we hope it's good. Yeah. But back to the fact that we hope that you guys all have a fantastic holiday season. We really want to appreciate every one of you that are regulars, those of you new folks that have joined us. We're sitting at, I don't know, $130 as far as subscribers, somewhere in there. And we appreciate it. Next year, we have a lot of fun stuff planned. And yes, as a matter of fact, if you subscribe to Barber Dave Shaves and such, you should have already gotten a notification, but you can go on that channel and you'll get a notification. Yep. So, Dave, I will talk to you, obviously, Sunday and before then, but I want to wish, if I don't see Pantea or your dad or your mom, I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas up in Portland. And I like that. Happy Chrismukkah. I like that. That could be the new Seinfeld version, because remember, he came up with Festivus.
Can you imagine all the outcry?
Oh, that would be great. Have a t-shirt, Happy Chrismukkah. That would be wonderful. So anyhow, folks, thank you again for joining us. We'll see you on the 6th of January. And as always, please email us with show ideas, comments, questions, critiques, whatever the case may be. The critiques we're probably going to throw in the garbage, but that's okay. So anyhow, Dave, it's been great. Say goodnight.
Beautiful. Good night, Dave.
See you, folks. Good night.